Hey everybody, let me fire off a Bobby invite. And we'll be up and running. I'm just kind of gathering my thoughts here. Pretty scrambled all day today after coming back. The chat up, and we shall be off and running. And I'm actually doing this kind of on the fly myself. I uploaded all the stuff, so I have my numbers, and I want to check the weather. I want to check, and then I have to do my own lineups actually. Wow, it's very interesting who I'm coming up with as top plays. This is it's a little surprising. This is a guy I don't think I've played before. That's how weak the pitching is, I guess. This is a little nutso, no? My second best pitcher is like 7% owned. Is that right? All these cheapos? What's going on here? I guess these ownerships are bad. And Acuna's out. Yes, this is an L for me. I'm not getting all the information out here, but it's good enough for me to make my lineups. I mean, like, I guess this is FanDuel. Yeah, but even still, yeah. So I'm still with Bueller. Yeah, Bueller's the main. Wow, look at this guy. Lars Nootbaar. Lars Nootbaar. Yeah, that was a good call on Portis, actually. That was a really good call. There's Bobby. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's up?
You there?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, Jay's coming in to saying good call with the Bobby Portis.
What's up, guys? So, sorry, I gotta get my. But yeah, I'm here in the park recording again, and it's a pretty fun little slate. A lot of offenses to target, huh?
Yeah. What are you doing for pitching? I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So when it gets nasty, I just try to keep it simple. I'm mostly playing Bueller, Garcia. A little bit of Barrios, Martinez. I hate that I'm saying Carlos Martinez, but he has looked a little bit better, and he's been streaky enough I can take that risk. And I think Pivetta is actually a reasonable option. But I actually, even as a Dodger fan, I actually do have some Dodgers in my lineup, especially Bellinger and Smith. But I do think that Zach Davies is in play as well. That's how gross this is.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry, guys. I've been swamped today. And I wasn't really able to get. I put my sheets up, but they're a little spotty today. I'll just give you that little bit of disclaimer. But I'll just in terms of what I'm doing, I like I have Bueller. I have to play Bueller in every lineup. I think on DraftKings. I'm not going to play that many of them, but I don't know what else to do about that. I think my second best pitcher is the guy is a little scary. It's going to be the guy you said. It's going to be Carlos Martinez. But I don't know where the other options are. You like Garcia, huh?
Yeah, I like Garcia in general. Good strikeout stuff against the Detroit team, but it's not. I mean, it's just we don't have a whole lot of options today. So I have Bueller and Garcia as my easy in my main lineup. I just think that I'll just whatever I get from them, and hope it works out because I don't love any of the pitchers and the pricing. I really couldn't get away from those two in my main lineup, but I do think that the pivots are, like I mentioned, Martinez, even a little bit of Martinez, Pivetta, Barrios, and Davies would be the next guys I would look at.
Yeah, the next guy that I have was Barrios. So this is I guess Acuna is out, right?
Supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not as into it. I'm not as high on Atlanta because of that, but I like the Cincinnati side of that game a ton. Although my favorite is, and you're the only extreme hitters umpire in the game that I want to target the most, and I want both sides of it, and that's Toronto and hopefully lower owned side, the Baltimore side I like quite a bit as well, especially Galvis, Mountcastle, and Santander.
Yeah, so I have Houston and obviously and Toronto, but I got this Atlanta. Not Atlanta. St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
We got this Lars Nootbaar, right? 2K. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, hey, what a name, right? Like, how that guy not do something for us?
That guy's totally from Linkoping. I mean, he has to be. I mean,
yeah, I hear you. I like Minnesota also, by the way. I don't think I believe we have a lineup for Minnesota, but I like Minnesota. They're a cheap way to get to things, and Larnach especially. But Larnach, and if you wanted to go, for the lower owned of the two cheap catchers, even though they're both going to be owned, or Worsford instead of McGuire, they're both going to be popular. You got Kepler at 3.4. Everybody on Minnesota is fairly reasonable, and we've seen Mejia get hit pretty hard. And you've got nice warm weather in Minnesota with the wind blowing out. I sort of avoided the other stacks because, I was looking for a reason I could name a stack in every game, and I think that they're all legitimate. I think there's going to be a ton of runs scored tonight. But I got off of Houston, and I just used the fact that, the wind's blowing in 11 miles an hour in Detroit as my excuse. Also, Rain has been a little bit better at limiting power lately, even though he sucks in general. So that's my excuse for getting off of Houston. My excuse for getting off of Atlanta is no Acuna in the lineup. I feel like hurts. And that's really how I did this. It was more just the guys I don't want to play who are going to be popular. And you can't play everybody, but I still do think the Blue Jays in Coors Field too make the most sense against Baltimore, terrible, against Kramer and the terrible bullpen behind them. And then I really think that getting a full game stack there makes a lot of sense, especially with the extreme hitters umpire. But I like the Baltimore side anyway, so that's mostly what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, so with no Acuna in, who are going to be the guys here? So Freeman and then Almonte. Yeah, I want that lineup though.
Yeah, it's another night to remember. Like last I mentioned it with the Rays outfielders, and got Meadows at really low ownership. Didn't have a great night overall, but you can't. There's just so many outfielders that stand out, and everybody seems like they'd be super popular. But you can't play all these guys. So, for example, I really like Cody Bellinger, and he's in a similar price range to Grichuk and Teoscar Hernandez. So I think if you're not stacking the Blue Jays 5-man, you could even do a 4-man and then include Bellinger in your stack, which I've got a little bit of. There's just a lot of really, really good outfielders, and you just can't play all these guys, which is why a guy like Almonte, even in a game that seems obvious with stack guys, is going to be lower owned. Castellanos will get ownership, but I don't think it's going to be crazy because there's just too many good outfielders today.
Yeah. Luis Garcia. Yeah, I guess Luis Garcia, if I can get him in.
I just think he makes sense, yeah.
And let me see, how much that St. Louis, he's only 2K. What position is he? The Nootbaar.
Which one?
The Nootbaar is 2K.
Nootbaar is he's outfield also, but he can't. Again, another guy can't be owned really too much anyway. There's just too many good outfielders to play the absolute massive chalk. I love Santander for that reason too. He's not the ultimate minimum price. He's 3,200, and I think batting cleanup. He and Galvis I love from Baltimore today. But yeah, it's pretty easy to find ways to get different because nothing is so. There's just so many good spots today for hitting. It's weird. We did the show the other day with the Giants played, and we didn't have any team that stands out the way that 7 teams stand out tonight. And as much as I said that I think Davies is in play because of weird slate, and for some reason he owns the Dodgers, I don't really understand why. I think it's been more fluky than anything, but I think Davies is an interesting long shot tournament play.
Yeah, I just came up with my lineup, and it's pretty freaking badass. Thought I'd let you know that. It's basically everybody we just talked about. And then I'm gonna do some MME stuff also. But this is I think this I like Atlanta. I think that's where I'm gonna end up. As my main one, and then on FanDuel, I got a funny SP1 on FanDuel.
Who's that?
You like Joe Ross at all?
I don't particularly like Joe Ross in general, but I really can't criticize anybody tonight. Look, Joe Ross is pitching in Miami. There's no reason not to take a shot there with the way that with his price on FanDuel and everything. I actually think he's even going to get some ownership on DK just with how bad the slate is.
Right.
I don't mind that Joe Ross play. It's just not for me. I sort of am on the. I'm not a big Joe Ross guy in general, but it is Miami, and it's a obviously good pitching environment, lousy lineup, and Joe Ross has been pretty solid considering compared to other guys in the slate. At 7,400, he definitely has a chance at 6 innings and getting a quality start. I personally would rather just try to find a way to get Buehler in and figure out the rest.
Yeah, I certainly can't argue with that. So the first thing I have to do, I also have to get some of the Acuna out of my lineups here. That being 48% of him, so
yeah,
it's probably wise.
Yeah, with Acuna out, I definitely came a little bit off of the Braves, and I think the good thing about stacking the Braves, I think other people will as well come off them a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I keep saying, Baltimore's in a great spot too. Yeah, so that's pretty much it's pretty straightforward for me what I'm doing, and I don't mind spending up for these Toronto fairly chalky guys because I just think I actually think that of all the teams, they're in the significantly best spot of everybody else. I actually think if I had to make a wager of any team to score 10 runs tonight, they would be the most likely, and more importantly, they have the power speed combination that you want. And I like that game. I love the game environment. And I love that we have the extreme hitters umpire there. So I'm focusing hard on that just whole game. I'm going to have probably 6 players from that game in most of my lineups. Did
we talk about Pivetta at all?
I like Pivetta. I just don't, he struggles with lefties. There's some good lefties. I actually think that Brandon Lau, however we say it now, and Austin Meadows are excellent plays against him. But I do think Pivetta should certainly be in play. He's been pretty good this year, and probably is going to get a little bit overlooked today.
So let me see where I'm at right now on FanDuel.
Well, he won't be overlooked. Let me rephrase that. He's just one of the pitchers who could get you 25 to 30 fantasy points, which is all you really want today. I just want to escape with my pitching with as little damage as possible. And Garcia, Pivetta, Buehler, Berrios definitely are the guys who make the most sense there. And then Carlos Martinez as the longer shot, cheap guy who can at least get us 20 to 25 fantasy points. And I think Zach Davies, is the other option there.
Yeah. Let me think.
Yeah, it's not a pretty pitching slate, but it's definitely a lot of different ways you can go offensively. And it's funny because guys like I have Luis Arias in some lineups. I'm playing some of the Twins mini stacks, but those are good value savers. But at the same time, I always think we play guys like, not me and you, I mean the industry as a whole plays guys like Arias a little bit too often outside of stacks for savings. And unless you're playing cash games, playing a guy who has almost no power is not usually a good idea in tournaments. But if you're going to do a little mini stack, then it makes a lot more sense to play Arias.
Yeah, I'm going to do another run here because something's wrong. Hold
All right, and I'm going to see if guys, if there's any questions, pop in any questions about this slate or anything. Don't even mind talking a little NBA, but I'm not as prepared for the NBA as usual because I don't have.
Well, Chris Paul is back. That's interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be. But I think what you can do is you could try to get creative and maybe play what they've been play all the guys we've been playing with him out. Like it's probably the best way to go to me. I mean, they obviously have won without him. Obviously, Chris Paul is Chris Paul, but I don't think it's not like they desperately need him or anything. I don't know. Yeah. So
Let me just see something.
Anyhow, yeah, these are weird. These weird little slates that we've done pretty well at, and I just think like again, getting off of maybe the full stack. There are a lot of good offenses, but at the same time, I don't mind completely full stacking because I think there's a lot of teams that have a chance to put up double-digit runs tonight.
Yeah, I want to get another look at this Luis Garcia. I mean, he's playing Detroit, right? I mean,
yep.
Let me see something.
And yeah, I really like Garcia. I mean, I actually think Garcia is good. Like I would have played him against a lot of these other teams today. I think he's as good of a play as Savetta. If he was even playing Tampa Bay, I would be still playing him. And it's Detroit, who obviously we've all said, hey, Detroit's gotten everybody at some time this year, but I still really like him. The weird team that no one's gonna play, that I'm not gonna play them either. Partly because they're in Tampa, but I think no one's gonna play Boston. And against Waka, I have a little bit of interest in some of them, more so as two men or one-offs, but that's just one thing I don't think anybody's really thinking about doing today.
What about you like Garcia? I guess the answer is yes. I mean, you like Garcia more than what's his name, Barrios, huh?
I like yes, I like Garcia more than Barrios. Just, I mean, you get a little bit of the price discount and the better matchup.
Yeah.
That's just why I sided with him. But I do like Barrios too. It feels like we're paying a lot for these guys, but there is value out there that we can use. But yeah, since Cincy, Toronto, and Baltimore are my main stack, then you can find value even within those lineups. It's not the best value. It's a little better. Like you get Biggio really cheap over on FanDuel. A little better on FanDuel, but Joe Panic is never a fun roster because he's a singles hitter, and
no.
But it's if you're going to make a 5-man stack, I don't mind using him for savings for Toronto. Not that pretty though. There's not a lot to be overwhelmingly excited about here.
Well, I'm a sugar there. All right, so adjusting. I just did one adjustment. Let me see if that changes anything here.
All right.
Yeah. So what I'll probably do is I'll do one with Bueller and one bill with Bueller and what's his name, Garcia. One with Bueller and I'll pay up for what's his face. Barrios.
Yeah.
And then maybe one with Martinez.
It's funny. I've mentioned the Arias thing, and there was a reason. Partly, Michael Chavis batting leadoff for Boston at 2.7. I think is a really good pivot off of Arias chalk.
Who's going to be chalk? You said.
I think Luis Arias at 2,800. I just think he's cheap enough where he's going to end up pretty chalky.
I think that
could be wrong.
Straw probably.
Yeah.
And then and the Lute Bowser or whatever his name is. Let's see. I'm not going to play Acuna, obviously. Do one more run here. Any questions in the chat here? I just don't have that up.
I haven't seen it. I'll take a look in a second. I'm just right now trying to get my last thing in. and then I'll be done and ready just to answer questions and have
Yeah.
a little back and forth. Guys, let me know what you guys are thinking about doing today, because I think that I'm pretty dead set and I'm ready to talk things through. It's a beautiful Thursday out here, getting a little windy. The Bueller is chalk, yeah. Jay's talking about basketball, playing Beverly tonight. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we saw Beverly, you know, a lot of minutes there down the stretch. He did a good job on Booker, so I have no problem with that. Yeah, Jamie saw that Acuna's out now, but it's going to make that Atlanta offense a little bit less owned and obviously a little bit less potent, but there's still plenty of good bats in that lineup. Really like Dansby Swanson's price, always gets under-owned.
Yeah.
Power speed upside. People don't realize that, you know, the guy's on pace to hit about 30 home runs, and he also steal bases for you. So I do like that as well.
What do you think of that pitcher for Cincinnati?
I have not considered using him at all.
Okay.
Well, Will Smith is not in the lineup tonight for the Dodgers. Interesting. Where did they end up? Bellinger batting fourth. That's interesting. So they are going with the Barnes thing again. I guess Barnes did hit a home run. Last night or the night before, he hit a home run. One of those two. Veta and Barrios. I do really like. Look, if you're not gonna, you know, if you're looking to play, you know, pay down at catcher a little bit, I think guys like Alfaro. I actually sort of, it's funny because we talked about, you know, you like Joe Ross on FanDuel. But I actually think, you know, playing some Miami bats as cheap value savers is a good way to go. The pivot from Bueller, I don't have a pivot that I'm really using for my main lineups from Bueller. If there was any, it would be Barrios, Pivetta, Garcia, but I'm using them together mostly with those guys, and then I'm using them with Carlos Martinez a little bit.
Right.
But it's a good question, Tracy. We don't necessarily need to. Think you need this guy doesn't get lit up. It's not like I mean, sure, anything could happen. It's baseball, but he's probably going to have 1 or 2 games a year where he's not going to put up, I don't know, at least somewhere in the teens of fantasy points. Like, what's his lowest game this year? 14 fantasy points. You don't want that, obviously, but he's almost always in the 20 to 35 range. He's just too good of a real life pitcher to really get hit too hard. I mean, the guy's 7-0 with a 2.3 ERA, getting basically a strikeout inning, and that's good enough for me. Or almost a strikeout inning, I should say. I think we want to get different with bats, not pitching today. But at the same time, like, none of the pitching is too exciting. So if you guys have any other suggestions for pitchers, throw one out. Is India one up? Not for me. I think at that price, I would rather play Simeon, who's just a little bit more expensive, and I'd rather spend my money elsewhere than on Jonathan India. But I do like Cincinnati, so he would be a part of my stacks. But he's not a priority part of my stack season at his price. I would prioritize some other guys. He's probably like 5th or 6th for me in the Cincinnati lineup. But I mean, look, people are gonna one off him. It's no problem. It's just I just would rather spend my money differently than that personally. More of maybe a better one off on FanDuel where he's at least a little bit more reasonable.
Oh, I know what I did.
How about that game by Trey? I'm going to talk to these guys about Trey for a minute while you're doing your thing. That was crazy, and I'll continually keep taking the L on Trey. I deserve it. I've said enough about him. And what I didn't know as much about him, and what he really didn't show, honestly, in a lot of ways. And it's funny because if you look at his numbers, even his efficiency and the shooting and stuff like that, they actually remind me of my favorite guy, and that's Westbrook. On the fact that he's making threes, but like everybody thinks this guy's a great shooter. He's not a great shooter. He's a great offensive basketball player. He's a great creator, and what he did last night was spectacular. And I just think he's the toughest guy. He's the toughest little guy I've seen come along since probably Westbrook. He's really, really he plays with the swagger, and he acts like he's the best player on the court all the time. And I thought that was that didn't seem so cool when they were when they're going 20 and 62. But now that they're fighting for the championship, like literally,
right.
It's pretty impressive stuff, man. It's really, really. I was blown away by how well he played last night. I also thought it was one of the worst coaching jobs as usual. I think Coach Bud is an excellent coach. I think he's really late to make in-game adjustments, and he does some really, really, really messed up stuff. That's only the first game, and they'll adjust, But it took him till
the end of the fourth quarter to start using Giannis at the 5. I'm like, what are you guys doing? That's the obvious thing to do against this team, and get a little smaller so you can get guys up on Trey. But I just thought it was a really, really poorly coached game. Who would I stack from Cleveland? No one. No interest in anyone from Cleveland for me. So I'm just to see if I'm missing anything with Cleveland here. It just I have absolutely zero interest in trying to stack against Berrios on a slate with 10 better offenses. Even if Cleveland does go off, why are we trying to pick on a guy who, basically throws a quality start every time he goes out there, or nearly, and who's the second best pitcher on the slate? I just don't see that. I think to me that feels a little bit too cute to try and stack Cleveland. Now, of course, it's baseball; anything can happen. But I'm not going to. I have zero interest in anybody from Cleveland. If I was going to play anybody, it's always Jose Ramirez, and that's it. Also, Berrios doesn't allow stolen bases. Does give up some power, so you can use a guy here and there. Doesn't walk a ton of guys. He did have one outing this year where he got really wild, but mostly has actually kept his control, gotten a little better with his control. So I have no interest in Cleveland. I do like Minnesota, though, on the other side of that game. All right. It's bizarre. I walk 5 feet away from here, and it's like I'm overheating because of the heat, and I'm over here in the shade, and it's with this wind, it's like freezing.
Huh.
All right, so
you like any? You have any Poteet?
No, I didn't get there, but I don't think it's a bad play at all. I just didn't get there myself. I'm not going to argue with almost any pitcher on this slate, to be honest with you. I just am going to keep it simple for myself. I'm not playing enough lineups, and even if I was, I don't want to get too cute. I think Carlos Martinez is about as cute as I'm willing to get, and Zach Davies. That's as far as I'm willing to go. And the Zach Davies thing is more just a personal. I've seen this guy dominate the Dodgers plenty of times before. I don't entirely understand it, but you also do lose. Will Smith being out is a benefit to him. The Dodgers run total does seem a little bit high. I do like some of the Dodgers. Not like Davies is this awful gas can that everybody always tries to make him out to be. So I don't know. I'm getting too cute already with those guys. I'm not going to use anybody else. I would say that Zach Davies also has put up 20, he put up 23.5 or 23.7 against San Diego 3 starts ago. Then again, followed it up with 28.6 against St. Louis. Got hit around by Miami in his last start. Actually was pitching okay, but did he have 0 strikeouts? No, he had 2 strikeouts in 6 innings. That's the one thing you worry about with Davies. I don't love the Davies play, by the way. I'm just throwing him out there as the as cute as I'm willing to get on this slate. But Poteet is probably actually more reasonable of a play. I just it's a personal thing that I've seen him be really good against this Dodger team plenty of times in the past. But Poteet probably the better play between the two, actually. Maybe I will throw Poteet in one.
Yeah, you're gonna be happy with 12 points of your SP2, maybe,
Unless it's Garcia. I mean, Garcia, this guy lives in the mid. Yeah, with the lower range, yeah, for sure. Totally agree. All right. Gooch currently third, -6. Ooh, nice. Pete, I'm guessing that you called out Gooch.
Yeah, I had some Gooch. I haven't really looked. I think there's one guy that's gonna crush me again. I have to check on my lineup. Yeah, maybe I'll look right after this.
Anybody else got any good golf splits out there? Let us know, guys. What you got going on?
Berrios. Bueller, Berrios, Pivetta, Ross. Yeah, it'll be easier. Easier this way. That. Let me take a look.
Tracy, if I didn't answer that one, I mentioned Pivetta is one of the 4 best, probably the 4 or 5 best options on the slate. I would call him around 3rd or 4th. I think he and Berrios are really close. He does struggle with lefties, and Tampa's got some good ones. So that's the only thing I worry about for him. But Pivetta is absolutely in play. Everybody's kind of in play for pitching on this tomato. I actually even just did throw Fatigue in one of my lineups. So I actually have, I'm not playing that, 15 lineups or so, but I have 25% Pivetta. I have Bueller in 70%, but like 100% of my high buy-in stuff. And Barrios is my other most popular, along with Garcia. Yeah, I'm happy I found a way to get off the Houston shot, because my plan today was like, how am I going to get away from Houston against Dorena again? And now they're, but with the wind blowing in and the lefties is who you want against Dorena, it's enough of a reason for me just to go elsewhere. So I'm not playing any Houston bats, actually, even though I still expect them to have a good night. I just think there's plenty of other offenses.
There are definitely plenty of offenses.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to go through some umpire stuff. The only umpire that really stood out as being an extreme hitter's umpire is in that the game that I want. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Think Donaldson's gonna get in?
I really don't know on that one. I didn't find myself wanting to use him a ton, but mostly because I'm using, Biggio, Suarez are my main guys on DK. But I do like Minnesota. I just mostly mini stacks with the cheaper guys like Larnach, Arias, maybe throwing in a Nelson Cruz who's going to be lower owned than usual, and then works it as a catcher, like a little 3-4 man, something like that.
Why do I have?
Looking at the K props, by the way, it is interesting. I do think maybe, Barrios only has a 5.5 K prop, which is a little lower than I would have guessed here. Pivetta with the 6.5. I think K props are a good way to look at things sometimes. Josh Bell was just scratched, by the way, which doesn't really do much. It's not like Zimmerman's a huge downgrade over him these days. I mean, he is a downgrade, but yeah. And the Dodgers lineup is, Betts, Muncy. You get Muncy and Bellinger back, but we have no Will Smith in the lineup tonight. Who else is in the lineup? Pollock's in the lineup against a righty who hasn't been great this year. It's still a solid lineup. I think I'm going to come away a little bit from any debuts that I have, and I actually think I'm going to prioritize Pivetta a little bit over Barrios.
Change this a little bit. And then this one, I don't need Donaldson. Panic. Don't really need. Yep. You play guys like Joe Panic or no?
I mean, look, Joe Panic should only be used, in my opinion, in 5-man stacks, just because he'll be low owned and he's cheap. That's really the only excuse for Panic today. He's a decent enough real-life hitter career-wise, just has no power, sort of like, but Arias is a better hitter than he is, and I don't know. I wouldn't be using him outside of 5-man stacks. I might have him in 1 4-man, but I think mostly I have two. I have him in 2 lineups. One's a 5-man. No, they're both 5-men.
Biggio is hitting only 6, huh? When did that? I guess that's been happening, right? Because everybody else in Toronto is freaking all-stars.
Yep. I didn't get to enough Bichette today. That's the one guy from Toronto I just wasn't able to finagle my way into enough of.
Okay.
And I wish I would have. I love him all the time, and I love him again tonight. I just couldn't quite get to him in most of my lineups. And it's funny, I want to just touch on something that gets talked about a lot throughout the industry, game stacking not being a real thing. And in general, there's no logical reason why you would play the other side of a team and why they should score more runs because they're playing. But when you factor in hitting environments and umpires, it does change things a little bit. So I always sort of like to push back when people say that, and even guys who are awesome at baseball, like Cheese is good. Cheese is amazing, but he always says that there's no such thing as game stacks. When you factor in weather and when you factor in umpires, then you can. It's sort of, I don't know. I would poke a hole in that because I don't totally agree. No real weather concerns tonight as of right now. Minnesota, it looks like there might be a little bit of drizzle, but in general, it looks, as of right now, I've got it as completely good to go, and I don't have anyone, maybe unless if someone has a different weatherman, but I don't see anything to worry about too much. I'm just going to double check the weather though, as you mentioned, since Tracy asked, and since I want to triple check, I'm going to double check it. I'm going to make sure that that's actually accurate. They let off with Swanson tonight, so he's not going to be as low on Riley, Almonte, Adrianza. It's a pretty ugly lineup for Atlanta. Factoring in how Atlanta's lineup usually looks.
Wait, is Freeman playing? Freeman's playing, right?
Yeah, the 5 is good, but then you get Kevin Smith and Inciarte at the bottom. It's just not a powerful lineup all the way through. Yeah, I've got Minnesota showing up as some rain here, and I've got, if anybody else has another weather source, because me and Keith are a little different. I do give Kevin all the love. I do think that he is, I think he's really good at what he does, but I don't even see him mentioning the game, which has me a little bit concerned. Am I missing?
Where's our man?
Our other guy?
Our guy from in here that's from Minnesota.
Who's that?
Remember, we got a guy on our Discord who's in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Our guy who was at the game the other day.
Yeah, dude, where are you when we need you? Come on, what the hell?
I mean, it does look like there would be some potential weather concerns, but like I don't see why. Like usually Ross will at least list it. He doesn't even have it listed on his list, like, which is weird. And so I actually would like to look at another one. Let me see if I can get that pulled up real quick while we're sort of, decidedly what we're doing on this. Like, because I am using some Minnesota bats, and I would hate for something to be overlooked because I'm not going to be around later to make edits very easily. All right, so I'm going to pull up my MLB weather. Yeah, I don't have a. Josh Allenson is in the lineup, by the way, Sheep.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I'm going to actually pull up that lineup in a minute. And I think I'm going to go with Chavis ahead of our. Let's see if I can do that comfortably.
Who are you going with, you said?
I just think Chavis, if you're going to use just one guy at second base instead of Arias, makes some sense. Michael Chavis.
Oh, okay.
For both. But if you're playing a little mini stack like I'm doing a little bit of, then I would go with Arias. Yeah, I'm not getting anything in Minnesota that's making me worried at all.
One last thing I got to do, and then I should be pretty well set here. Has nothing to do with this. Put something.
Who is your awesome? Do you remember your Osimo guy? Your weatherman from Osimo?
No, it wasn't a weatherman. It was
Oh yeah, that's right. That was for the other thing.
it just listed, percentages. So I'm gonna take a look though and see.
Just curious. I mean, I love Ross, but this was, to me, that's kind of a poor job. If you're going to put a weather thing up, you should probably include the one game that looks like it's supposed to be raining throughout the game.
Right. Hold on, oops.
Anyone know why Acuna is out? Only as much as everybody else does. I honestly think he's just hurt or sick. He's back, I guess. Yeah.
My son told me that my son
Back.
tells me that he wants me to win the Millie Maker in football this year.
All right, do it. I'm rooting for the same thing.
Yeah, so I said, yeah, no problem. Now that you've told me that you want me to do it, now I'll make sure that it happens. I wasn't going to try earlier.
Yeah. Jay, appreciate that. Jay says 1% chance of rain. I'm looking at it, a weather thing that actually shows it as raining currently in Minnesota. So definitely it's got to be higher than 1%. But I am no weatherman. Yeah, I went through Ross' whole Twitter feed, and there's nothing at all about Minnesota anywhere. Right?
What about that other guy, the Twitter follow? I'm gonna find him in a second. I just have to do one last thing here.
I'm definitely overthinking. I don't think I need to worry really, but I just thought it's weird that they don't even mention it. I've never seen him not mention a game that
Right.
showing.
I mean, he's usually extra conservative,
Yeah. Except for the one day that, the day of the $2,500 million first place where I had 3 lineups and the Yankees game was postponed.
Oh,
and
really?
It didn't rain in New York. It didn't rain in New York. Yeah, I had Garrett Cole in all my lineups. That was a brutal one.
Ouch.
It didn't rain and the game was postponed. And I was just, I think it was actually, they found out afterwards that it was a potential COVID scare, even though it wasn't a COVID thing, is what the word we got afterwards. That's what we thought from it was last when they did the restart. But frustrating, man. There's nothing worse than losing something to weather. Well, I'm sure there's worse things, but I guess it's a bad thing. Who else? Anybody out there got a good golf sweat? I didn't play any golf this week because I'm obviously on vacation a little bit. But I just,
it's not going to work out. That too much answer and Emilio Grillo. But we'll see. Maybe I got lucky. I got a good combination. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the baseball stuff. I wasn't going to play the showdown, but let me just double check because you're right. They keep giving me these free showdown things, and it sort of forces me into playing. And honestly, I've been actually no real amounts, but I've actually been winning at the NBA showdowns pretty much consistently.
Nice.
Let's see where we are here. Nope, doesn't look like they gave me a free one, but I'm gonna throw one in just for fun and just go on the field, not even look at any projections here because I think it's pointless. Oh, it's 105K to first night. I even added an extra 5K for a round.
Like, did you want to play based on your logic? Would you play like Cameron Payne?
That's what I was thinking. It seems like too much to spend, but I certainly like taking those kind of shots. So I'm probably going to try and figure out a way to do something like that. And I would expect Paul to be to to probably play a little bit less. I don't think Paul's a very good play personally.
You don't think-
Maybe he'll play his. But I mean, they've been doing fine without him. And Chris Paul tends to be. If it's a close game, you're going to get your production out of him usually. In the, it should probably be a close game. It also is back in LA, and obviously his old team and all that stuff. And he's been a part of the previous best Clippers team ever. So you can find the narratives and all this. I think you still want to go with a similar strategy as the other night, and maybe try to find a way to fade one of Paul and George or Booker, and then build your lineups accordingly. Really like Ayton. Really like Ayton. I'm amazed by how good this guy's actually become. Not amazed. I'm just surprised it happened so soon. I thought he was a full year from being as good as he is now.
You know what? I hate to say it this way. It sounds too like cushy, mushy-gushy coach speak, but it's like a good team. You know what I mean? Like they
yeah.
No one's really like they're really working to, and it's kind of weird. Like it's like, how do I put this? It's not like the Warriors is like they all work together. It seems like they all like kind of like do their own individual thing. You know what I mean? Without being overly selfish. I don't see like a zillion assists and a zillion like a lot of ball movement ever. Just I think like Ayton just finally found his. His, I wouldn't say limitations in the wrong way either. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he can do, I think, and does it. I think that's, I think it's important.
Yeah. Look out for the multi-guard lineups, by the way, tonight from the Clippers, I think, too. I think you'll see Rondo and Beverly potentially play at the same time, more than we have seen. And obviously, you can include Mann in that too.
Terrence Mann?
I'm just trying to figure out if I want to play Terrence Mann. I'm a little bit streaky guy. I mean, not streaky guy. He's just a young guy, and he had the monster game before. But just taking a quick look and making sure I'm not missing something. They made him 5K. It's a little more. I mean, if you were a Clippers fan, I think you would be wondering why isn't this guy playing more in the series? 5K might be a little bit more than you want to spend for him. All right, let's see. If they don't, Watson and Rudolph for an answer. They don't win tonight. Find a way to blame Paul. Ayton will dominate game winning dunk. Crowder, that line much better with Paul in the lineup. I actually agree with that Crowder part a lot. Totally agree with that take.
It was really weird. Like, so we were watching the you were watching the other day, or watching, when you were at my house watching, and it looked like Crowder was like just like having like just everywhere. He had like 12 fantasy points. It was really weird.
I know. Yeah, his production mostly has come from 3-point shooting and rebounding, but you're right. He did look like he was all over the court, and defensively he was terrific.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised guys like that get overlooked. Like this guy's been a part of like a lot of really, really good winning teams, and I don't know why he's not like a priority for teams every offseason. Guys like that, and it seems like he's always sort of like a thrown in. Oh, Crowder. Well, okay, we got Crowder. So well. He's a really good basketball player. A really good guy for a good team.
I'll tell you something else. By the way, you were talking about the Hawks. It was real. They had this weird sense where I just like really just thought they were going to win the whole game. It was like they were like behind, and it's like they weren't even like surprised anymore. It's like it's almost bizarre.
Yeah, they really made the leap.
Of course, we're going to get there in the end. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. I do want to mention one pitcher I didn't mention. I do think that K is in play at 4K for the Blue Jays against Toronto. I know I said I like Toronto. I'm sorry, I like Baltimore.
He was my
But I
top.
think Anthony
He was my top play like most of the day today, actually.
Yeah, he makes some sense. He's got pretty good strikeout stuff. Even if he only goes a few innings, he could still get you 12, 15 fantasy points. And there's upside to get 5 innings in there. And if he gets 5 innings, then he's very likely going to come out with the win. Just because I like, I'm betting on the Blue Jays tonight. I think he's going to have some ownership, though. I don't think you're getting off the board with him. I think he's going to end up being one of like probably going to be in the 20 to 30 range. Is my guess.
Oh, you
Ownership.
think so? Wow, I didn't.
I do. Yeah. Well, like he's got a 4.5K prop and he's 4K.
Okay. Right.
You just factor it, just do the math. He should basically be putting up 10 to 18 fantasy points against a pretty weak Baltimore offense. Even though I like Baltimore tonight, I think it's kind of interesting to take a shot with. Like he's a much, I actually think he is kind of interesting. This wind is starting to get to my allergies a little bit, so I might have to run in just a few minutes. I brought my sunglasses out here. Guys, any more questions or thoughts, let me know. I'm only going to be here for another minute or two, and then hopefully somebody crushes it tonight. And if you guys can remember, please like and subscribe if you don't already. Also, join the Discord. You're already a member of it. I'm assuming most of you are, but if you're not, I'll pop the thing in the chat just so we have it.
Yeah, I'm just figuring up a little more site nonsense. Let's say nonsense. I'm uploading some stuff for other sports, and then I'll be done with that task. And then I'll be ready for dinner. And yep.
Oh, you got the salmon dinner tonight?
Yeah, just regular. Ashley's making the salmon.
Oh, nice. Oh, we just got it. Yes, somebody jumped in. All right, Scorpion. Let's see if there's any MLB stuff that I missed in there. It doesn't look like it. And yeah, guys, let's crush it tonight. I'm going to go ahead and say good luck to everyone, and hopefully somebody takes something down. If you do, make sure to let us know. We've got a couple guys who won in 6 figures over the last week.
We got to get them on. And
yeah, absolutely. I've got a setup for with one guy, but it's going to be when I get back home, probably the end of next week. That he's going to come join us.
Or at least, that was a big choke by us. We should have at least done a lineup review. And pulled up his
Yeah. Well, the only problem with that is that some people don't always want to.
We should have asked.
Want to do all that. This guy does. No, you're 100% right. We should have asked, and I think he would like that. No problem, Robert. Appreciate you joining. Happy to have you. Yeah, feel free to be as talkative as you want in there. There's a lot of smart people in our Discord now, and always nice that people are winning, and hopefully it'll be us tonight. I've had a little bit of a rough couple weeks in MLB, so hopefully turn it around this evening.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm just gonna hang out here doing my shit for just a couple more minutes.
Okay.
I'll maybe grab a couple of questions. You guys have anything? Just fire it off, and if I see it, great.
All right. Good luck, everybody. I hope you guys crush it. Talk to you guys soon. Oh, we got a couple more people just joined Discord. Great. Good luck, all. Good luck. Take it easy, Sheets. Enjoy your dinner.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. So I'm just believe it or not, just tweaking my my League of Legends projections for tonight. So we can do that. Let's build lineups there. So I pre-build my lineups, especially for LOL, because when I go to sleep, I mean, I don't wake up to do that. So I put those in actually pretty early. Let's make sure I have no subs in there, which I don't. So let's download those, put those into my DraftKings builds. We'll go upload here, and then we'll put these in. So I'll have 20 lineups in here. What we'll do is we'll enter those right now so that I don't forget. It was the 5K, right? Yeah. I mean not the 5K. The one that pays 5Ks for first. Oh, I thought I had all these in here. Hold on a minute. Let me just see something. Lineups. This is from here. Why is this not why am I not uploading these? Let's see. Friday. Oh, yeah, there. I got them all. Very nice. So that's done. And the last thing I'm going to do, just to show you what I'm doing here, I'm actually going to upload this to the site now. See how I do that actually. Oh, I'll bring it to the other side. Sorry. So these are actually the. Let's see what these look like. These are the actual. These are the raw. Yeah. So I have to fix this. Okay. So we have to fix this actually. The Arthur one is over there. That one's fine. But why did it not? Why does it not look good? I'll figure it out. Yeah, sorry about this. Is boring. This just happens to be what I'm doing right now. You guys can leave if you want. Let me just see what I'm doing here. Why is this not? Why is this not working? I guess I'll fix it later. Oh, it's fine. I actually do have a little more time, so let me. So I didn't put those in. Okay, so actually I do have one more source I have to access. And I'm literally just talking to myself, but that's okay. That's just to access one more set of projections. And again, I'm doing like tutorials on how to use the different projection sources. I mean, not the projection sources, the how to use my my sheets, and I went over how those numbers are kind of derived. Hold on, I'm just not doing FanDuel for a second. And this probably is the least exciting thing you'll see all day. So I'm going to try to do one more run here. I'm just really frazzled right now. So if I don't do it right, I'm just going to just put it away and then I'll do it later. And I'll show you that in a second. Make sure I get everything I need. Let's see. And then I'll show you. I have the same freaking thing. Hold on. I have multiple of the same thing. All right, so let me try one more time. And then if this doesn't work, I'm gonna kick you guys out because I'm not able to focus right at this particular moment. And then maybe we'll check some ownerships of some of the baseball stuff in a second. See if this worked out. If it didn't work, then we will abandon it and come back to it. Yeah, something is off. I will deal with the LOL stuff a little bit later. All right, guys. Let me find you. Yeah, I'm like so disorganized right now. I can't even end the stream because I have so many different browsers open. I don't even know where you guys are. That's how bad this is. If I win playing like this, I mean, I would have to be the greatest DFS player of all time because there's literally no chance. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I literally don't even see the browser with you guys in it. Maybe I already proofed you guys. No, there you are. All right, good luck, guys, and I'll catch up to you later. Good luck, and let's get it.